So I'm trying a new thing where I'm going throughout the house to get rid of one item every day, but I gotta add another item for each day. So it starts out with one, and then the next day you gotta get rid of two, next day you gotta get rid of three, and you just kind of go from there. And I got this idea from a show. It was a movie, technically. It was a documentary, short documentary. It was under an hour, but it was actually about minimalists and the minimalist lifestyle. It's actually more like a documentary about the guys who started the minimalist YouTube channel, which I don't know much about, but it was a documentary. It was short, so I figured I'd turn it on because it was something that's interested me before. I also watched that Tidy series, which didn't really help me as much, I guess. Not that the minimalist movie helped me much, but the Tidy show didn't, because it was mostly about keeping yourself organized within the office and the home, and that's always been something that I've been pretty good at. I've always been really organized, and I mean, as you can see in my videos, I have all my movies alphabetized. I have a desk at my work that's always very clean and very organized, so I've never had issues with that. But I was kind of interested in maybe getting rid of some stuff in the house, starting with one item every day and then adding another each day, to eventually, if you do it for 30 days straight, you'd be getting rid of 30 items. It doesn't need to be big items. You can start with little items. But it's kind of hard. I mean, I thought there would be like some bigger items I know I can get rid of. Definitely clothing, as far as old shirts or shoes maybe that I don't wear anymore. But once you kind of start getting rid of the little items like that and clothing items, it starts getting down to like, okay, what else can I find in this house? And you kind of start digging in the drawers and finding things you remember, but given that I'm already a pretty orderly guy, organized, and always kind of going through my things, there isn't much I can think of to get rid of. I guess some people would mention the movie collection, which, no. That is my one thing where I'm like, because one of the things they talk about in the documentary is that, we attach ourselves to this stuff, but it's not really what makes us happy. And you need to really focus on these items and say it doesn't make you happy. Do these posters in the background make me happy? Well, I've had that poster since high school. I mean, I've had a lot of these posters for a long time. And definitely I've limited the number of posters that I have up in the house. So, see, it's kind of like that. I know I love those, but I got a printer over there that I can't really buy ink for because the ink is way too expensive. It's not even really reasonable to have a printer that size anymore, especially if I don't use it. Well, because the ink's too expensive. So, does that bring me happiness or joy? No, it doesn't. So I don't need it. So I probably could get rid of that. So you kind of go from there. But as far as the movies go, it's like, in the show they talk about different collections that people have, like coin collections, different like cup collections, just all kinds of different collections. I have collections. I have shot glass collection, but I don't own shot glasses beyond that. The shot glasses I own are the ones that I use. The ones that I collect are the ones I use. I have a coin collection, kinda. I only collected the state quarters, and that was it. And I did that as a kid, and I was able to finish it as a kid, so I was always kind of proud of that. So I've always held on to that, but it's in 1 quarter map, and that's it. So there's like things like that, but as far as other things I collect, those are the two. I have been collecting the Office Pops, and then I have my movie collection. There's not really other collections that I have, and there's been like memorabilia from movies in the past that I've been like, oh, that's real cool, but I don't buy it because I don't really want to spend the money on it, and don't really know where to put it in the house, and don't really want to find a spot for it. No, I mean, if I had the space, or even kind of like a nice setup for a place to display the stuff, yeah, maybe, but it's not even really my style to do that anymore, to display memorabilia or props or little trinkets, things like that from movies. But the movie collection is a thing that it's definitely a thing it brings me joy. Organizing it. People have their book collections, I feel like, and I feel that way about my movies. So that's not a collection I really want to split up. I can't really dig in there and find anything that I'd want to get rid of. Maybe someday, but even then, it's like, I don't know. People ask me, have you watched everything in your collection? But I certainly try to. You know, if I buy something, I have the intention to watch it, but there's always something new getting in the way. Brand new movies, movies debuting on Netflix or some of the streaming services, movies in theaters, and, you know, other movies that I've just been meaning to get to. So, not necessarily everything I own gets watched right away, but I always plan to. And I pretty much get to everything I own. So it's, you know, I'd love to eventually just have seen everything that I own. People with smaller collections definitely have, but I think people with bigger collections all kind of know, yeah, it's kind of hard to see everything you own, but we definitely try to. I don't think it's impossible. I don't think I buy enough fast enough to make it impossible. A lot of things I also buy are things I have technically seen before, so it's like, it's not impossible. But I can't really think of anything I'd want to get rid of. I mean, I guess there's movies I've watched, and I'm like, oh, that was kind of disappointing. But there's always something about them that I may want to go back to. A lot of the movies I own aren't really available on streaming services yet. I could convert everything digitally. But the thing is I have a spot for them. I have them organized. It's even in a spot where I can put other things in there for storage if needed. So it's I have it used for videos, and it's kind of like a display. But I can also put things over there if I want. If I have like a box of things, I can put it over there. So I guess this is me trying to explain why I wouldn't really get rid of movies. But the other challenge is something I'm really trying to do, because there's like things that I see in the house where I'm like, I probably could get rid of that. I probably have one too many coffee mugs. I don't need a bunch of coffee mugs. I usually stick to one coffee mug. And there's things that I haven't really bought. You know, it's not like I go to Target and I'm like, oh, nice plates, I should get a plate set, because I only have ever had one set of plates, 6 plates, boring small white plates. Maybe I need more, but I never do, because it's like, I don't really need more plates. I wash dishes, I don't need more plates. So I don't know, it's weird. It's like I've never felt like that. I definitely like to get new clothes, but every time I get new clothes, I usually start getting rid of really old stuff. You know, I put one thing inside the closet, I do usually take something else out. So, you know, I feel like, in a way, I limit myself, but I don't really limit myself with movies. That's pretty much it. But, I don't know. It's kind of hard to find something every day so far. But so far, I've picked things that I just need to straight up throw away. But there's also, you know, the fact that some things can get sold, because that's what they say at the end of the documentary. You can sell things, you can recycle them, or you can, and now I'm forgetting what the other one was. Oh, to donate it, yeah. So sell, donate, or recycle. And it's like, yeah, I could definitely maybe donate things or even sell them. I mean, I already have things, I'm like, I should just sell that, so let's get selling it. Yeah, I mean, I have that Abbott and Costello DVD set because I upgraded to the Blu-ray. That could be sold. CDs, I don't really like having CDs around anymore, so after I get them on my iTunes, I could get rid of CDs. I don't really care to have CDs. I mean, I like to have games, because, you know, games are for consoles, and you can't really get them anywhere else digitally, depending, but for the most part, if you're playing them on the system, you don't really want to get rid of them, get rid of the system, and then try to play everything digitally, because, you know, I've done that, and it's like, there's something about the original system. But with CDs, it's like, you know, I've always been very much, I don't have much for CDs anyway. I could probably get rid of them all. I don't really collect records. I have a record player. I don't really collect them. I mostly got that because it's a one and all type thing. It's got a CD player, it's got a cassette player, so it's just kind of nice to have around. It's got radio on it, but as far as records go, I only collect the ELO albums, because that's my favorite band, and that's it. So it's like, I don't need CDs. I don't need to buy more records. And I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to kind of go around to figure out what else I can get rid of. But there's definitely things. And, I don't know, I don't really want to become, I guess, the term minimalist. I don't think I ever could, technically. With the movie collection itself, I certainly don't feel like I could ever call myself a minimalist. But I definitely like the idea of just kind of cleaning up the spaces around me. Just keeping them more simplistic, and having, you don't need a necessity for, you don't need a bunch of things for, that all accomplish one thing. You know, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like, you don't need 3 or 4 or 5 razors. You need one razor. You don't need a bunch of hairbrushes. You need one hairbrush. Seems like that makes sense to me. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, but I'm on day 2, so I've gotten rid of 1 day of things yesterday, 1 item for 1 day yesterday. Got rid of 2 things today, 3 things tomorrow. We'll see if I can do it for 30 days. Have an empty house, besides movies. A house of just movies. I could do that.